durante todo este tiempo otra de nuestras colaboradoras, que es Mariya Tarabanovska. Ella es la cofundadora de Flight Crowd, que Felipe también ha mencionado anteriormente. Ella es asesora en movilidad aérea urbana y su investigación actual justamente se centra en el Reino Unido, donde explora aspectos del diseño, la tecnología, la innovación. Ellos están justamente aspirando a divulgar y a trabajar el futuro de la movilidad y el transporte de una forma accesible, sostenible, segura, y con ella hemos estado dialogando mucho también cómo hacer este abordaje para este evento. Como ella habla en inglés, vamos a compartir el video de su presentación que ha sido subtitulado y luego vamos a hacer el intento de hacerle preguntas en vivo. Bienvenida Mariya, si querés saludar. Hi, how are you? I recently introduced you, and now I'm going to share your video. You can say hello if you want to, while I put your work. Yes, you can unmute. You can say hello if you want.
Hello, Michaela, can you hear me? Hi, buenas tardes, everyone. Muchas gracias, Michaela and Christian, and gracias, Felipe. Thank you very much for mentioning us and for bringing us here. It's a pleasure to be here. I hope you will enjoy the presentation, and I'm very looking forward to your questions afterwards. Thank you very much.
I'm going to share your work now. Wait a minute. I lost the video. Wait.
Si quieres, no cargo.
No, acá está.
Welcome to Flight Crowd's talk recorded for Flight Edge's first Argentine Congress on Advanced Air Mobility. My name is Mariya Tarabanovska, and I'm here to talk to you about public engagement and outreach in urban air mobility. And so, let's start with the essence of mobility. Transportation solutions and mobility go hand in hand. Over many decades and eras, we have seen a significant evolution in the ways we travel. From one areas that need improvement when we think about the current transportation system. And so, what are the constraints and limitations with the existing transport solutions? What is the need for urban air mobility? As populations and businesses in megacities continue to grow, the increased urbanization and traffic situations are pushing existing ground transport systems to their limits. Current modes of transportation contribute to traffic, which ends up costing people and businesses loads of time and money. Road delays and congestion are costing cities and businesses billions of pounds a year. These issues can potentially lead to cities and countries around the world risking diseconomies, leading to deteriorating quality of life and a loss of economic dynamism. Moreover, modern ground vehicles generate a lot of air and noise pollution with negative and significant impact on human health. To ensure that we keep up with the evolution and rapid development of human lifestyles and its reliance on transportation, there is a need for faster, cleaner, safer, and more accessible transportation system to be developed. Arguably, urban air mobility, or UAM, presents a chance to bring urban mobility to the third dimension and help ease the aforementioned issues we are facing currently. If integrated well with the existing forms of transportation and ways of living, UAM can become truly revolutionary. The idea behind so-called flying cars is incorporated in the emerging industry of urban air mobility, or UAM. Flight Crowd's definition of UAM is the concept of mobility and transportation of people and goods which centers around urban connectivity. So essentially, the UAM vehicles are a more sustainable, electric, quiet, and cheaper version of helicopters, which can be used for a variety of applications. Worth noting that UAM sits between the traditional aviation and ground transportation you encounter in cities. It is all about aerial mobility over shorter distances in urban environments. A similar term you may have heard of is advanced air mobility, or AAM. It applies to rural, regional, and urban applications. UAM is a type of advanced air mobility focusing only on urban air mobility applications. UAM and AAM are often used interchangeably, and indeed there is a number of terms the industry have developed. We are trying to help the public get more familiar and confident with the technical language of future mobility with Flight Crowd's very own UAM Glossary project. I highly recommend you to take a look. No prior engineering or aerospace degree is required to understand what we describe there. Over 500 registered designs of eVTOLs developed all over the world, all hoping to operate different missions, or indeed shall I say, having a variety of business and use case scenarios, from scheduled flights to on-demand trips to public services like aerial firefighting, medical transportation, to air rescue, and everything in between. Sounds exciting and promising, doesn't it? And while various industry stakeholders are preparing their roadmaps of introducing UAM in different communities, the industry leadership and overall industry success is more than ever dependent on the regional, societal, political, and economical landscapes and the local post-COVID recovery. So what's Flight Crowd's role in this? Well, Flight Crowd is an open urban air mobility community focusing on the challenges regarding public perception. So we are here to inform and inspire the public about the uses and benefits of urban air mobility, while at the same time addressing the public's concerns and providing them with a voice to echo this back to the industry. We also provide a platform for aspiring professionals to engage with the UAM ecosystem and get you excited about potential career prospects in this area. At Flight Crowd, we really see this industry affecting a number of communities globally, and one such way is through the variety of use cases for the urban air mobility vehicles, including but not limited to commercial passenger transportation, such as air taxi services, tourism and sightseeing, or emergency services, for example, medical aid transportation of organs or specialist doctors, aerial firefighting, policing, air rescue, etc. So these vehicles are not just for the privileged, but to benefit all communities and will be accessible and affordable compared to helicopters. We really hope as many of these as possible will be developed all over the globe. Obviously, the UAM vehicle itself is crucial. However, there's so much more to the UAM ecosystem. For example, imagine the chaos and impracticality if everyone owns a car when there are no petrol stations, roads, bridges, traffic light systems, driving licenses, road signs. It's the same situation here really. For urban air mobility to be successful, we need the infrastructure, maintenance, charging facilities, air traffic management, regulations, marketing. Therefore, there really is a place for essentially anyone with any area of expertise in urban air mobility, whether it is engineering, law, business, management, IT, graphic design, etc. This industry requires diversity of thoughts that can only be provided through the diverse backgrounds of individuals in urban air mobility. There are a variety of challenges that the UAM industry has to overcome for successful mass implementation, so the public may question on how disruptive noise and air turbulence would be, how to ensure the safety of those both in the vehicles and on the ground, how to prevent these vehicles from intervening with privacy, such as by flying over personal gardens, the cost per ticket, as well as the available airspace. These are just a few of the questions that may be addressed to allow the public to feel comfortable, safe, and positive with respect to urban air mobility. But also, is this industry going to be built on equity, diversity, and inclusivity. And so, what else should we look out for? And I say it's imperative to both have a diverse and inclusive workforce, but also design with the end user in mind. First of all, there are many different sections of accessibility and inclusion. Each of them may have overlaps, but often some aspects do tend to be oversought. Let's take a look at the infrastructure and the vehicles aspects. Is the infrastructure that is being developed suitably designed to be accessed by members of the disabled of both hidden and visual communities? Well, for example, if we think about those that are visually impaired, can we guarantee that we have thought about the requirements for their guide dogs or visual auditory support on eVTOLs in our design and development phases? Have we developed digital interface that are able to communicate route and travel information? How will infrastructure design be suitable and accessible to them? Are we going to use lifts, escalators? How about those with auditory and sensory needs? What measures can we put in place to increase the ease for users who have sensory and auditory difficulties, or indeed those who have ADHD difficulties? The slightest inconvenience can throw them off guard. In that case, well, surely we must consider their needs within our planning stages. Will there be visual and auditory accessibility features at the vertiports and on the vehicles used for various applications? Are we able to incorporate interactive and digital displays to make their journey a little more comfortable? Let's take a look at those with quadriplegia or no functionality on lower limbs. Within our designs of urban air mobility vehicles and infrastructure, where can we incorporate the access for wheelchair users? There are some things that we may need to consider. Will there be access for wheelchairs? What will the turnaround time be on the eVTOLs to remove a seat to make space? Will there be staff members around to help them? How about parents and toddlers as the end users of urban air mobility? They are indeed another group of individuals who will need to be considered. Essentially, what measures will we have in place that allow parents to travel with their young children? Will the features be accessible to parents with young kids? What will be the rules of having a baby on board? Some vehicles have a capacity for 4 passengers within a certain payload limit. If a family of 5 is there, does that mean they have to take 2 trips? Or indeed a family of 4 won't be able to take a trip if the pilot is on board? And lastly, the elderly people. How do we design adequate access for elderly? Is it right or wrong to decide which age bracket is most suitable for these operations? Oh, and of course I've forgotten to mention the hidden disabilities. There are a range of hidden disabilities where the current transport infrastructure is not convenient for mass transit. How can we make urban air mobility industry accessible to all? Also, in the case of the emergency evacuation, what will the measures need to be to ensure safety of all passengers? And indeed, inclusivity and diversity starts with each and every one of us working in the UAM industry. It starts with a diverse workforce and having people with neurodiversity, hidden and visual disabilities, mobility impairments, and more to help us build an inclusive future of transportation. Whilst there are many stakeholders that make up the UAM ecosystem, the end user and the wider society should be at the centre. We talk a lot about achieving public acceptance, but I really say that we need to achieve public trust and support. The different members of global community should have an equal opportunity to present their views and concerns and help shape the transport infrastructure of the future. There are several activities we can do, but this is just a small list and many more things should be done. Well, let's go through some examples. So, public engagement is key. Knowing from the end user their needs and their requirements will further help us within the research and development phase. Novel air platforms should be designed with the end user at its focus. We should conduct think tanks and open forums on various topics from accessibility, ergonomics, functionality, and more. Also, scenario-based questionnaires can also allow us to accurately depict people's thoughts and feelings. Giving people the opportunity for them to voice their concerns will smoothen the design process, as we will be able to identify issues that can arise in the future. Effectively having engineers and future end users, operators and manufacturers co-design the future of air mobility should be the key to success. Education of the public is always key, and keeping the audience in the loop and up to date with the current and future developments should be our utmost priority. What can we do? Well, we can certainly organize industry-led events and activities aimed at engaging the public and addressing their concerns, roundtable discussions, and open forums where members of the disabled community and wider public audience can speak freely about their struggles and the difficulties they face. And indeed, less talking and more doing than showing. Public demonstration flights and simulations with accessible features are a great way to showcase what it will be like to travel on one of the new aerial vehicles. And so, what is Flight Crowd doing at the moment? And as I've mentioned, we inform, engage, and inspire various members of our audience. Our resources are aimed at different age groups and individuals with various abilities and levels of understanding of the UIM industry. In front of you are some visuals that we created as part of our Urban Air Mobility Explore STEM outreach project, aimed to introduce young people to the world of aerial mobility. For this specific project, we prepared a set of posters, a careers quiz helping young people discover careers in urban air mobility, and a set of UIM professionals being interviewed who discuss their experience and advice for young professionals, all to inspire young people about the potential opportunities in the field. Indeed, this is only one of the examples of our projects designed for the community. We regularly speak at school and universities and engage with the experienced professionals looking to gain a better understanding of UIM and helping them start a career in this field. We also offer a variety of written content such as the glossary or FC Explain articles. I invite you all to start having a look at these resources to help you make sense of the world of UIM. One such example of our projects is our UIM glossary, as I mentioned. That is a collaboration with the industry where we are working towards removing the technological language barriers. This project is set to help make aerial mobility industry easy to understand to those without previous technical background. Each term discusses the meaning, origin, misconceptions, and links to a wider urban air mobility ecosystem. You can see these and other resources on our website. And so, I want to leave you with a thought that public acceptance is not a destination, but it is indeed a journey. And I would like to invite you all to work together and make this journey an exciting, inclusive, and accessible one. I would like to very much thank you for your time today and hope you found this information useful. I would be delighted to have you join Flight Crowd on our journey of making
Well, hello. The sound. Sorry. Well, thank you, Mariya, for your time, for the big effort doing this video. I really want to thank you. We appreciate your help a lot to build this Congress. Si cada uno quisiera preguntarle a ella en inglés, lo puede hacer libremente en el chat, si no yo voy a tratar de traducir para que ella pueda entender.
Yeah, no, thank you very much,
Well,
Michaela. Thank you very
have
much.
a few questions. I want to know, how did you end up working on the urban air mobility ecosystem? What has been your journey? Maybe your best experience in this business. Le pregunté cómo ha sido su recorrido y cuál ha sido su mejor experiencia en esto hasta ahora.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you very much for the question. Oh goodness.
Wait, you're muted.
No, I think you should hear me.
You can unmute yourself if you want.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Wait a minute. No, it's my audio. Sorry. I hear you now.
Yeah, so I was saying thank you for the question. And I am an engineer by education, but I'm also a product designer, and I'm very, very on combining the two, my technical background and my arts background, my design background. So this is how it all started, you know, with my passion to find something which is cutting edge, which is very technologically advanced, but also centered around humans. Translate.
Well, I really want to highlight the effort that you have put on the glossary, because that's what we used to put the name on our Congress. Yo quisiera destacar el trabajo que ellos han hecho en su glosario, porque es lo que utilizamos nosotros para darle sustento también a nuestro Congreso. La diferencia entre movilidad aérea urbana y avanzada todavía también se está trabajando. The concept around urban and advanced it's been developing now, so we have to work together to build these concepts, and the glossary highlights the help of all the actors in the industry.
No, definitely. I think you're absolutely right. All of us need to work together. It is a collaborative effort. I think there's a lot of competition for a good reason within this industry. And we see a lot of players, a lot of industry stakeholders who are really trying to, well, who are competing to be number one and the best vehicle provider, or, you know, the best solution. But indeed, it's all about how do we deliver public good? And how do we bring this technology to the communities? Because priority number one should really be about delivering all this products and services that we have been working on, delivering our vision, bringing it back to the communities. And so, yes, absolutely, for me, it is very key. And as I've mentioned, my educational background, all of that really shaped my vision that without public, all of this will just remain being a tool, a little toy that maybe engineers or scientists are playing with, but only by bringing it to the customers, bringing it to the public and getting public involved. Only in that way we can truly make it a meaningful industry that is going to shape our lives.
Bueno, ella está comentando que en principio hay obviamente hay gente que está, empresas que están compitiendo por ser las primeras, pero en realidad hay espacio para todos y que tenemos que trabajar de forma mancomunada. Ella estaba destacando que, bueno, hay que velar por el bien público y que eventualmente, bueno, como hay muchísimo por hacer brevemente. Quisiera preguntarle también, bueno, ella dice que por su background, por su experiencia en la educación, también esto lo ha traído en este trabajo, y en ese sentido quisiera preguntarle qué carreras están promoviendo, porque ya mencionó que están promoviendo a los jóvenes que se empiecen a interesar para ya tener los profesionales del futuro. I want to ask you the careers you are promoting in your website and in your LinkedIn, because you already said that you are talking to young professionals, and so which are that professions or careers that we will need in the future for this industry?
No, definitely. So we are talking to school students as well as university students, because we definitely understand the need to invest into this future workforce. They are the individuals who will be helping us grow our industry. They are the individuals who will help us develop and deliver sustainable and efficient and effective urban air mobility. And so we are interacting with people from all sorts of apologies, just muted myself, from all sorts of backgrounds, coming from engineering to arts, business, history, languages. Why? Because we understand that all of them will have a role to play because of the amount of work that needs to be done in this ecosystem. It is about not just the vehicle, it is about the whole system. It's about the big problem that needs resolving, a big task, and that requires, again, a collaborative effort. And so all of us speaking different languages, coming from different backgrounds, all of us will have a role to play. So we're really talking to everyone, and especially, again, targeting young community, because they're our future.
Well, thank you, Maria. Well, we are eager to work with you on having this glossary translated in Spanish for us, to aim to the Spanish-speaking audience. Quisiéramos tener este glosario también traducido. Nosotros sabemos que ellos ya están trabajando, creo, en ello, para poder dirigirnos a la audiencia de habla hispana. Creemos que justamente con la gente que ya ha estado trabajando en las relaciones con la comunidad, con el enfoque que tiene Flight Crowd, con la inclusión, creemos que ahí está el foco en el individuo. We think that your point of view, inclusive, open-minded, it's the most valuable thing about your way of thinking this industry, because we need to work things in a different way that we have been doing until now.
Yes, no, definitely. I think this industry presents us with an opportunity to start better, to start differently. Our transportation system have often been built without the end user in mind. They're very exclusive. We don't think about people with disabilities. We don't think about people with special needs, special attention. But this is a fresh opportunity. It's a fresh start. And again, I think all of us, if we all come together, we have the chance to build, the best of the transportation that we can possibly imagine.
Well, we think that we will work together really, really agile to bring this to Argentina. So I really want to thank you for your time. Quisiera agradecerle por ello por su tiempo. Si alguien quisiera hacer alguna pregunta, todavía tenemos unos minutos. One more question from Agustín. What should be the approach towards the legacy aviation industry and stakeholders, which in a way are being somewhat replaced as a part of this evolution?
Oh, that's a great question, Augustine. I think I don't think that legacy aviation has been replaced. I think we're just finding different ways of moving people and cargo around. I think that we are heading towards the electric, the digital, the autonomous revolution. And so it's not just urban air mobility that is coming to sort of replace something. I think it's just we are collectively looking for different ways to do things differently and to do things better, again, to do things more sustainably. I think in terms of legacy aviation and stakeholders, please don't be afraid of it. We've seen a lot of support from Rolls-Royce and Boeing and other big traditional aircraft manufacturers, Airbus and others, who have been embracing this future, who have been investing into this feature. And so I think we should all just embrace it, because it is an evolution in some way. So it is, it's us saying, look, it's enough of burning fossil fuels, but also it's about the new ways of moving people and new business models. So we won't completely get rid of all this stuff, but I think definitely let's just embrace it, and let's be happy that we have learned from our successes and our failures of the past. And let's build this future in a different way based on those lessons learned. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, she's saying, sorry, ella está diciendo que ya hay apoyo de empresas grandes como Rolls-Royce y otras, que en realidad, como bueno, hay que abrazar este cambio, esta evolución, que es un comienzo fresco y nuevo. Seguramente en algunas cuestiones competirán, pero son nuevos modelos de negocio también. Hay oportunidades va a haber nuevas oportunidades para todos. Entonces, bueno, creo que en este sentido y con lo que venimos trabajando durante toda la jornada, el punto es la integración, ¿no? Cuando, o sea, el libro, por ejemplo, todavía no murió y estamos usando los computadores. The books are not dead, and we are already using computers, cell phones, and other technologies. So I think the integration and in this sense is the same thing. Seguiremos usando también los autos para algunas cuestiones, para trasladar algunas otras cosas, pero bueno, podemos ya ir dándole lugar a una nueva forma de movilidad. Well, Thanks, Maria.
Thank you so much.
Gracias,
Michaela. Gracias, Christian. And gracias por su atención, everyone. Thank you so much for your attention. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your time and stay in touch.
Thank you, Maria. We'll talk to you later, and thanks for having us in your agenda.